adequate, or if you feel that I have breached the code of conduct, that's up to you to pursue it, but I have answered your question.
Right. I have answered the question. What does council want to do with the letter?
I just suggested what you do with the letter. I made the motion. Respond to it in that way.
So what is the motion?
Well, it has been given, and if the person is not satisfied, they can file a appeal under the code.
Okay. So we received the letter and the your seconder for that? Deputy Mayor, Councilor Scott?
I have a question. How hard is it to, and through you to the Director of Community Services, how well known is it how we get people to put bids in? Like, do we have that on the website? Is there a place that people can formally apply other than going into the offices?
Yeah, it's on the website. There's a section on the website called Tenders and RFPs, and it does direct interested contractors to become pre-qualified.
So everybody technically in Lambton Shores would know about that? Or is this one of our communications where it's there and the people that know about it know it's there, but for somebody that doesn't know about it, they may not know where to look, or they don't even know that we necessarily need to have this to be one of the bidders, I guess is my
I'm going to
question.
raise another point of order. There's a motion on the floor. It does not speak to this. Now we're having a hearing within a hearing. We're presuming that there's going to be a complaint. But there's no complaint. If the complaint comes in, then we'll deal with it. There's no complaint right now. Just respond the way the motion reads.
The motion?
The letter was sent.
The letter was sent?
It's been provided, and if the person would like to follow further, you could file under the code of conduct.
Code of conduct appeals. Any more questions to that motion? All in favor of that? Opposed? So there's 4 and 4. The motion's lost.
No, you didn't.
Did you?
I voted for.
Oh, okay. The motion's carried.
So what I'd like, can I ask my question now? Can I ask a question of our Director of Community Services? How easy is it for us to know that it's there or exists? Like, I don't know. I mean, I've never wanted to be a provider of a service to the town, so in that respect as a contractor, so I don't know.
Well, for those tenders and projects that our purchasing policy requires to be advertised, they are advertised publicly. And contractors who are interested in the work are always free to call us, and they do, and we always direct them to the fact that they need to be pre-qualified. The pre-qualification process was brought before council a number of years ago in a staff report. I believe it was in 2008 or 9, and that it was made public at that point and then advertised through our website.
Could we have copies of that? Because we wouldn't have gotten it in this thing. And I'm wondering if we could, when we put something in the paper, just put down if you're not pre-qualified, you need to call the town or something.
Yeah,
Is there some?
each of our bids has that in.
I'm just trying to make sure that it's clear out there, that's all.
Okay. Thank you. And Watkins Shaw, placing a moratorium on cell towers. Page 65, there's the letter there. Deputy Mayor Day.
I would like to motion that we actually send the letter that we sent, or some adaptation of it, to the Premier as of today, and Deb Matthews, who continues to be the Minister of Health, with regards to our concerns about the cell tower in Fort Franks. And I'll speak to that after someone seconds that motion.
Okay, motion that we resend our letter regarding cell towers to the appropriate ministers and Premier.
I'll second that for discussion.
Okay. Councilor Scott.
Okay. I'm just wondering, since Ann sent this letter in, we have sent letters to our MP and our MPP. If they could have a copy of this sent to them, just sent over by fax to both their offices. Just
Copy of this letter?
Yep, that was sent to us. Just because she lists some other things, and that way then they'll be up to date, and Premier will be up to date.
To include that in the motion? Also send a copy.
Would you be willing to that, Elizabeth?
That's fine, that's it.
Okay,
We're gonna do that.
questions on that? All in favor of that? Carried. Thank you. Dean Doherty, cost associated with the dismissal of John Burden. There's a letter there. There's 6 items that we'd like dealt with. We have said that we will provide information when it's added up. So I guess the request to have a report on this, what we can legally disclose. Councilor Vaughn?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything on here you can't disclose. I mean, their salaries are public salaries. I think the only one issue that I saw is 1 and 2. Yeah, we don't know how much for the interim CAO yet because we're still, unfortunately for her, we keep extending the pain. So that's the only one area. The other one is the cost of legal advice for the specific transaction. I suppose we could, but you know, the rest of it is. We don't know what a consultant is going to cost for the new CAO, number 5. And number 6 would be a TBA, but in terms of 3 and 4, that's real simple.
3 and 4 are public documents.
Yeah.
Really is public, so they're asking for the legal advice.
We just don't know yet.
Before and after the fact when it gets all added. So I guess that a motion to have a report dealing with these 6 items, what can be dealt with when the numbers are in.
Yeah.
You moving that, Deputy Mayor Day?
Sure.
Second by Councilor Bonstill. All in favor of that? That's carried. Thank you. 3 sets of minutes there for the IA, 8.1, 8.2, and 8.3. One motion for the 3 sets of minutes. Councilor Scott, Councilor Cook, any questions on any of those minutes? All in favor of that? Carried. Thank you. Planning report. This is the McFerrin Jericho Wind Farm power project municipal consultation forum. Page 75. Councilor Monson.
Yeah, I think to be consistent, I think we agreed that we would wait until all public input is in before we present our position. So I would like to table this report, and through you to Janet, or to our CAO, I have just a question. I've had a couple of ratepayers send me correspondence that they would like to be included to ensure that, I guess they have become somewhat expert in the field with the research. There are some concerns that the municipality does its due diligence, and I understand there's provincial responsibilities and municipal responsibilities, and again, we get into communication. So I'm going to ask you, Madam CAO, what's the best way of getting that public input into the report that comes to us before we vote on it, so that we don't have tons of people out here screaming that we didn't do due diligence?
We want to be able to make sure that we won't be having a public meeting for public input. We basically already had that for our information. If public wanted to submit information to our planner, we'll accept the information and we can provide it to council and say this is what has been provided to us. How, do you wish to include it in your response? It's your response, it's a municipal response, a comment form that we're completing at this time. So if it's something council would direct us to include, we can do that. But the planner would be able to comment on whether it's within our legislative duties or whether it's at another level.
Could I, just a clarification, could I ask that to make the lines of reporting clear, that they send it to you as the CAO?
Sure.
Okay. I think that keeps it clear. Then
So additional comments, well, this report's,
yeah.
motion to table this report. If there's additional comments that are sent to the CAO when this report comes back, council will consider those additional comments with this report. This is a draft report.
Yeah.
You can still add or take out of this.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Okay.
Is there a seconder for that? Councilor McGuire. All in favor of that? Carried. Thank you. We've dealt with 8.5, 8.6, it's a 3-way stop sign proposal. Councilor Bonstick.
Oh, I'm going to move that recommendation. They're going to make the people in Southcott Pines very happy on that. It was a great report, Brent, and they're going to be very happy.